What's the weirdest, scariest thing you've ever seen when at somebody else's house? A few years back, my friend would often house sit for this family at her church. She always asked me to stay with her there because they didn't like the house, as the house had 350 some clowns in it. We always slept in the living room because all of the bedrooms had giant clown figurines. It was awful. So I'm 13, at a new school, and walking home after school. A kid I didn't know kinda joins me and says after a few minutes, "Hey, here's my home, wanna come in?" Yeah, okay. The house was the biggest mess I've ever seen. I guess 3 or 4 adults and 4 or 5 kids lived there and they never cleaned up. There was trash everywhere, paper bags, fast food containers, soda cups and bottles. My new friend asked if I wanted a glass of water and we went into the kitchen. His older sister was there and sweeping a pile of trash out the open back door into the backyard, which had trash and junk everywhere, junk washing machines, car parts, refrigerators. The kitchen counters were stacked 2 feet deep in dirty dishes and pots and pans. The kid grabbed a dirty glass and filled it with water. I drank it and didn't die. In a corner of the kitchen was a 50-pound bag of dry dog food, open. "Oh nice, you have a dog, huh?" New friend grins and says, "Oh no, we don't have a dog." I thought about that for a minute and told him I'd better go home now, see ya later. After that I took a different way home after school. A decorative bowl on the table next to the couch absolutely filled with fingernail and toenail clippings. In my teens there was this girl whom I used to visit and hang out with a lot. Her dad was super cool, used to give us beers and shit. One day I show up and she was not there. Said she would be back in about 30 minutes and I was free to hang out until she got back. Head into the living room, he tosses me a beer and sitting there on the couch chilling. Noticed he was working on a musical box, but I was kind of confused as I never seen wires in a musical box and was trying to see what he was doing. He also noticed I was looking and just casually mentioned that he was working on a bomb that some friend needed. First I thought he was joking, until I noticed the hollowed-out shotgun shells next to it. He also decided that he should inform me he was color-blind too. Never been so scared in my entire life. They had pet piranhas and I was sleeping over there. One of the piranhas literally jumped out of the tank and started flopping on the ground. I thought that piranhas were some kind of death machine animal at the time, so I started freaking the F out. Eventually they got it back in the tank. But yeah, I didn't get much sleep that night. My best friend in elementary school got 2 bunnies one year for Christmas. A boy and a girl. The first time I slept over since she got them, we slept in the living room near the cage and they literally effed through the whole night. She was just kind of like, "Yeah, they do that." I didn't sleep that night. The weirdest was when I was visiting an old high school friend a few years ago. She had married this big a-hole and had 2 kids back to back. When you walked into the trailer it looked like they had this enormous flat-screen TV that almost took up the whole living room wall. But when you walked down the hallway past the little girl's room, the back of the TV was sticking out into the girl's bedroom. It was one of those old obsolete TVs. They had cut a hole in the wall to make it look like a flat screen. There was only enough room for both of their baby beds on either side of the back of the TV. I'll never forget that. Who does that? I was having a sleepover at my friend's house and when we decided to sleep I lay down in my sleeping bag. I looked up and there was a massive hole in the roof in the middle of the living room. It's called a skylight. Not me, but my parents have told me this one. When they were first house shopping they ended up checking out this really nice house in the city. Real estate agent is showing them around the place and they get to a little side room. The agent is showing them around and my mom happens to glance into the adjacent living room. Right above the fireplace was a massive portrait of Adolf Hitler. The real estate agent was just like, "Oh yeah, that," and said it belonged to the previous owner. They didn't elaborate further. I went to a friend's house to play some PC games. When I got there, his mom, dad and uncle invited us to sit with them for a little chit-chat before we went playing. Somehow the subject came to the deceased budgie. They went on and on about how it was the best bird ever, how it understood human feelings, etc. The praises were getting a bit over the top and I was getting bored, until they offered to show me the dead bird which they've kept in the freezer for more than 6 months. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Reddit review. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.